Good morning. Here in Jerusalem, after the election in the States, a lot of people are talking and very excited about the election of President Trump. And one of the rabbis here at Nar Shalom brought a verse from the Midrash that teaches us an amazing thing. It's very hard to even comprehend, perhaps, that it says that the king of Edom will crown the king of Mashiach. The Mashiach is going to come, he's going to be a human being, and he's going to get a crown, and it's going to be placed on his head by the king of Edom. Now, Edom, we understand, is the line of human development that began with Esau, the twin brother of Jacob. And Jacob's twin brother, Esau, was a very powerful man. And he was a fighter, and he was a man of the earth, and a man of action. And many nations are attributed to his kingship, if you will. We're taught that he had 12 sons, and each of his sons eventually was spread all over Europe. If you check the names of Esau's grandsons and great-grandsons, you'll see that some of them are actually the names of countries to this day. Edom is one of them. Edom became Italy, but it wasn't always called Italy. In the biblical times, it was called Edom. Okay, so this king of Edom, well, there were many Caesars during the Roman Empire. This is a symbol for the spread and the development of Western government. And what is giving over a kingship in democratic societies? How does that work? Well, we understand that the Messiah that we're looking for is not a political figure per se. At least that's what a lot of religious people like to think. Other people are a little more broad about their conception of what the Messiah or who he will be. Will he be a businessman? Will he be, a scholar who sits and learns all day? Will it be a man of leadership, of building, of arts? Or will he have all those skills and experience in all of them? Not clear to us, but we understand that he's going to be a man of powerful leadership, and Rabbi Nachman says prayer is going to be his main weapon. He's not going to be sitting in the control room down the street here in the underground. There's a city underneath Jerusalem City, which is, of course, the secure place for the politicians and the other members of government that need to survive if there's any kind of an attack of major proportions. Most Western democracies have such underground cities. But we have to think about this for a second. We're told that he is going to rule with prayer. He's not going to put his finger on a button to shoot supersonic rockets or nuclear missiles. It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Could the king of peace, the one that we've all been waiting for, that will make world peace, is he going to make peace by going around nuking people? Okay, you could say, well, Avraham, there's a lot of evil people that need to be nuked. That's a position that's really hard to take. But it might well be that he will be there to clean up the tragedy of nuclear war. It might well be that it will take a nuclear war for the nations to stop fighting each other, to finally turn their spears and their swords into tools of building, of growth, of advancement of humanity, and stop the whole international industrial weapon complex, because that's what's driving it all. They always said, I remember this quote, they never make a weapon that's not going to be used someday. Okay, let's hope that all the nuclear missiles that are standing in their silos all over this world just kind of rust in place. I imagine a few of them already started. But Mashiach is not to be a man of war per se. It says he'll fight the wars of God. But what are the wars of God? Well, the war of faith and the war of bringing people to a higher consciousness in order that they won't need to want to destroy their neighbors because they want their land or they want their resources, much less their wives and their children. That used to be the main motivating resources, right? Between the ancient kings. Okay, but all of this, where does it lead us? Is that the king of Edom is an extraction of the twin brother of Jacob, so it makes perfect sense that he would be the one to crown the Messiah who is coming from Jacob. You see, they were twins and they split and they went over the whole world and populated and built the modern societies that we know. And once the war between these twin brothers is over, because remember they fought. Before Jacob entered the land, he fought the angel of Esau. And now I believe that war is coming full circle. And when the king of Edom crowns the king of Jacob, the Messiah, the entire human wheel will have turned. The cycle will have been closed. The history of human warfare will be outdated. It will be obsolete to go out and try to kill your neighbor. It will be absurd because it will not pay. Warfare is so expensive nowadays, they're spending millions of dollars to kill one terrorist or knock out empty buildings. It doesn't seem like a very good, efficient economic plan for war. Yet peace, well, humanity doesn't even know what great peace and what greatness peace will bring and what advancement of the human being there will be. But we believe in it and we know it and we're looking for it and we're hoping. You see these sky rises around us, these big buildings, they're kind of symbols of something, right? Of technology, of capability, but it's all limited if they're not built for the sake of peace. And right now, there's hope. There's hope here in Jerusalem. There's hope in people's hearts that a new president in America will create a better situation in the world and in Israel. We don't know if that's going to happen or not through this man, but we know it's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to start happening on January 6th or it's going to start today or in 20 years. But we do know that the final cutoff for the 6,000 years is coming. We're only 215 years from the year 6,000. That's when the final transformation is promised. And the 1,000 years of peace will begin. Now, hopefully we can do it a little earlier than 215 more years. I don't know if we'll be around to talk about it, at least not in these bodies. But we know that God brought the redemption in Egypt 190 years earlier. And we know the Mashayahu Shiyeh, that verse means that which was, will be. And the rabbis bring that is the first letters of the word Moshe, Moses himself. That the first Moses will be reproduced and reincarnated as the Messiah. And that he came 190 years early. So if we take 190 off 215, what's left? 25 years, give or take. Because we're not allowed to say exactly when, because the Zohar says the Messianic era is 2,000-year process. So in such a process, we can't say one date he came. But we can say that it's getting closer and closer and greater, and the streets of Jerusalem no longer will be dangerous. And the streets of the major cities of the people who are attached to the Jews will change as well. And the streets of the people that don't attach themselves to the Jewish people, who persist in the warlike manner of the old-fashioned human being, the primitive human being that uses force to extract his will instead of justice, legitimacy, diplomacy, honesty. The people that are left behind are not going to make it into the era of peace. Rabbi Nachman teaches that the people who enter the era of peace of the Messiah will be attached, listen to this, to the 613 channels of humility that reverberate from the master soul called Moses, called the Messiah. That the Messiah is here to spread humility. And if you attach to that, then you inherit one of those channels. And that becomes your ticket into the Messianic era and the world to come. We should all merit to some humility in these times of great events, because the humility will be like Rabbi Akiva, who said, lower your head, when the wave comes. Don't stand up and get smacked down in the surf. Lower your head when the wave comes. Lower your head when violence comes near you. Because violence does not produce peace. Violence just produces more violence. God bless you all. We will continue our work on Rabbi Nachman and Likutei Moharan, hopefully tomorrow. And until the 215 years pass, or whatever it takes. God bless you all.